ones talking, the truth gon' flow like sun, right? Yeah, the spotlight glow from the stars, you know, to the ones about to blow. Hear the stories unfold from the grind in the dark to the diamonds in gold. Every beat, every dream, every risk they chose. We keep it raw, no scripts, no pose. Tune in close, let the energy grow. New voices rising, yeah, we running the show. Run the stage to the mic, let the whole world know. It's the Fed Up Show. 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 Yeah. It's the Fed Up Show. Where the real ones talk and the truth gon' flow like sun, right? Yeah, the spotlight glow from the stars, you know, to the ones about to blow. Hear the stories unfold from the grind in the dark to the diamonds in gold. Every beat, every dream, every risk they chose. We keep it raw, no scripts, no pose. Tune in close, let the energy grow. New voices rising, yeah, we running the show. Run the stage to the mic, let the whole world know. It's the Fed Up Show. 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 Yeah. It's the Fed Up Show. Where the real ones talk and the truth gon' flow like sun, right? Yeah, the spotlight glow from the stars, you know, to the ones about to blow. Hear the stories unfold from the grind in the dark to the diamonds in gold. Every beat, every dream, every risk they chose. We keep it raw, no scripts, no pose. Tune in close, let the energy grow. New voices rising, yeah, we running the show. Run the stage to the mic, let the whole world know. It's the Fed Up Show. 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 Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, McKeelery, aka Miss Fed Up Show, and I'm back. Yes, honey, I am your host, and this is the space where real conversations happen, real stories are told, and real people are empowered to walk boldly in their purpose. This show was created to inspire, uplift, and challenge you to push beyond limitations, silence the doubt, and step fully into the vision that has been placed on your life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, creative, leader, dream chaser, or simply someone looking for motivation to keep going, you are in the right place tonight. So go ahead and tag a friend, share this live, and get ready for powerful dialogue, authentic moments, and life-changing insight, because this is Live on the Fed Up Show, and the conversation starts right now. Hello, everybody. It has been about a week since I've been on Live on the Fed Up Show. I've been so busy, and I thank God for it. No complaints, honey. He's opening doors, and I'm out here just trying to conquer the dream. So I am elated to be back with you all again for a special episode tonight. Tonight, Live on the Fed Up Show isn't just reporting a story. We're sitting down with a woman who helps create them. Our next guest has dedicated her career to informing communities, amplifying voices, and proving that journalism is more than delivering headlines. It's about telling stories that matter. Behind every broadcast, behind every deadline, behind every breaking news alert, there's preparation, there's precision, there is relentless commitment to telling the truth, excellence, and serving the public. As a news producer, media personality, and journalist, Lakia Starks has built a career where every decision can shape how a community understands the world around them. But tonight, We're Pretty the Journalist in the interview chair. We're going beyond the newsroom, beyond the cameras, and beyond the headlines to discover the woman, the mission, the sacrifices, and the purpose behind the profession. If you've ever wondered what it really takes to build a career in media, if you've ever dreamed of using your voice to make an impact, or if you're simply inspired by people who lead with excellence, you're in for an unforgettable conversation tonight. Fed Up family, help me give a thunderous live on the Fed Up Show welcome to award-winning news producer, media personality, adjunct professor, and journalist, Miss Lakia Starks. Hey, girl, hey.
Listen, that
Hype up, hype up.
introduction was. Listen, I need you to introduce me all the time. 'Cause that right there was.
Clock it and will. Hey, I tell them all the time. It's easy to introduce people when you're telling the truth about them, honey. You are
Oh,
who you say you are, okay?
thank
So
you. Thank you so much.
most definitely. I'm so glad that you joined us tonight on Live on the Fed Up Show to talk about your journey. Okay, a lot
Yes.
of us have been watching you for a long, long time. And those of us who want to embark upon a journey of media and journalism, we have been inspired and motivated by you. You have went from what, Charlotte, North Carolina, Montgomery, Atlanta, and just taking over news stations
Yes.
everywhere. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm glad you're here to tell us about the story, and I want to make sure they know something. Tell them where you're from, my girl. Tell them where you're from.
334. What time is it? It's time to wake
Gotta
up and
get
it's time to represent.
hey, yes, straight out of Troy, Alabama.
Troy,
Okay,
Alabama. Okay.
yes. Well, once again, I'm elated and I'm happy for you. Congratulations on everything. I love to see just to see your videos and everything on Instagram. If y'all don't follow her, run and follow her ASAP. Lakia for real on Instagram, Lakia Starks
Yes.
on Facebook, and just follow her journey. Her video recaps of her entering into the news station and all her outfits that be tea dressed to the gods, honey. It's just it's you. You can tell that you're in your purpose. You're fulfilling your purpose. You are in your lane, and you're making your way through. So again, thank you for showing us it can be done. So let's get started. When
Okay.
did you know that media and communication is what you wanted to do?
So it started in middle school, and this is gonna be crazy. So I was a
Mhm.
big Disney Channel person, like I Disney Channel to college, into college, and so I was really obsessed with the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and
Oh,
so and I was obsessed with Brenda's song on there, and she used to always say "Yay me," and so I just wanted to be Yay me, like I really wanted to be her. Like I was like, I want to be on TV, I want to do something, and so I remember putting that down in like the in my middle school newspaper that I just wanted to do something with television because I was inspired from the Sweet Life and Zach and Cody. And so then when I got to high school, we had a print journalism class. So it
mhm.
wasn't quite media, but it was still close to journalism. So I joined that. And so I was working on a newspaper in high school. And so then after that, I was like, okay, yeah, I think this is what I want to do. Like, of course, it wasn't a print side, but it all started from Disney Channel to Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yes. Okay. Come on, your childhood. Because it's true that some of us know what we want to be early in life.
Yeah.
So hey, everybody should have a story of what sparked them to be what it is they wanted to be and what their ultimate dream was for themselves in the future. Now you graduated from Charles Henderson High School, and you
Yes.
went on to college. Let's talk about college. When you got into
Okay.
college, was it hard for you to decide what you were going to major in?
Oh, absolutely. So when I first got to college, my grandmama, she was like, because I was like, I want to be a journalist. I want to do it. She was like, well, you're not going to make any money in journalism. So you need to be a nurse. And I was like, well, I don't like that. So, but when I went to school, I majored in nursing. I went to the health class and failed it. I failed chemistry. I was like, yo, look, this is not for me. Okay. And so after nursing, I went to print because, I was doing it in high school. And I was like, no, look here, this is not what you want to do. Change my major again. And I went to broadcasting, and then there go A's and B's just started rolling in. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I
Yeah,
went through
they
two majors
two
before getting
majors
into
before you got there.
broadcasting.
That's
Hmm.
okay. They say you have to sometimes go through those type of situations to finally end up where you want to be. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm glad you also mentioned the part about your grandmother, because a lot of kids, for me and others who I know, we tend to go and chase things that our parents or grandparents
Hmm.
or loved ones want us to do instead of actually doing what our heart desires for us to do. And I've interviewed a few people who say, listen, when you find your purpose, don't go after chasing money. So
Hmm.
yeah, right now you may not make the big bucks, but eventually, if you keep on opening, going through these doors and building your brand and your
Yes.
craft, that money is gonna come. Okay, the money
Yes.
will come. So
Because you
I'm
don't make
glad
money in it.
you.
That's for sure in the beginning.
Hey, you got to have some side hustles, okay? You
Yes.
got to have some side hustles, and with those side hustles, we got to see you show up on red carpets, in scenes and places that we will watch on TV and be like, "Oh, I wish I was there." And we looking like, "Wait a minute, somebody from Troy is there. Lakia is on the red carpet interviewing the stars, baby." And you were doing
Yes.
it, and you were wearing them bad dresses. Okay, carpet, yes, ma'am. You were wearing them bad dresses, and you were doing it, and you were interviewing them and holding conversations
Hmm.
with people once again that we watched on TV. Let's talk about how you build your brand, build your name. You're more than just a journalist, and you made sure the world saw that.
Hmm.
So tell us how you swerved on that lane and started going through other avenues and not just focusing on the news station alone.
So it all started when I moved to Charlotte. I always say that's kind of like where I found myself. And I kind of like stepped out of my comfort zone because when I moved there, I moved out of spite. And it was because I was living here in Troy and I was working in Montgomery and I was still living at home with my mom. And one day she told me, she was like, you need to start paying bills. And I get it now, just trying to make me a responsible adult. But at the time, I was like, why do I have to give you money and you're my mom? So I went to work on a Saturday and I was mad and I went and applied for another job to go somewhere else. That don't make sense if you really think about it. So I applied for another job on Saturday just out of spite because I'm like, mom, make me pay bills off and then move out. So that was on a Saturday. Tell me why they called me on Monday in Charlotte and was like, hey, we saw that you applied for this job. Want to know if you want it? And I'm like, oh my God, like what is happening right now? So I took it, but I did it, like I said, I did it out of spite. And remember, I told you don't make money in this field in the beginning, but I took the job because I was like, well, everything happens for a reason. I moved there, I was broke, I was depressed. I worked overnight. I had to get a second job to like help make me ends meet. Like you said, we got to get another side hustle. And it kind of like made me an adult in a sense because when I was up there, my mom just kept calling me every night, just like you good, you making it work. And it got to a point where she started feeling like she was getting sick because she was waking up in the middle of the night with me. And so I was like, okay, mom, you know what? You can stop calling me, stop waking me up. I'm gonna do this on my own. I got this. So I went and got my second job. And when I was at work, I started networking because I was a weekend producer at the time and you had to fill 7 hours worth of news. That's a lot for one producer over the weekend. And so during that time, you had to like book guests. So what I did was to help build my brand and help like establish my name. When I was booking those guests, I made sure I established relationships with the publicists. I would talk to them, get to know the publicists themselves, not just their client, because you can get caught up in just their clients because they're bringing you big names. But no, I went to lunch with the publicists. I got to know them, so that way when people came into town, they would invite me to certain for certain events, red carpets, etc. So like my first guest when I was in Charlotte, I always say it was Kid and Play. When I tell you I was
Ah,
so excited. That was my first booking. They took me on their bus on a tour. I went on their tour bus with them because they was like performing. And that all happened because I made sure to establish a relationship with the publicists in the beginning. Not just get to know the guests and be so excited to see them, also get to know the person that's bringing them to you. So when I was in Charlotte, that's what I did. I just like, hey, you know what? The foundation is making sure you know the publicists, their names, who they are, what kind of artists they bring. And then after that, everything else just kind of like happened along the way.
everything fell in place like it was supposed
Hmm.
to. And I'm gonna
Yes.
tell you, I watched a few of your interviews. I've watched a lot of your videos. I'm gonna tell you which one stands out for me, and I bet you already know which one I would never forget. When you
Uh-oh.
sat down and interviewed the Tyler Perry and the cat, son, let me tell you something. I was screaming. I was screaming at the phone, like, yes, but what? What?
My heart was
Because
like this.
I'm telling you, he gave you your flowers. Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
yes. But for me, for me, and that's what I tell others. For me, for young ladies, especially young black girls, and from where we're from, to see somebody from Troy, Alabama, sitting and interviewing Tyler Perry and the cast, and Tyler Perry giving you your flowers as a journalist and and an interviewer, that's huge.
Yeah,
That lets the rest of us know we can do this too. And
absolutely.
I'm so, when I tell you I was screaming, baby, like I was in the other room, like you was gonna call me out to ask some questions or something too. Like I'm like, yes, honey, this is it. Yes, but man,
Yes.
I won't forget that. But again, you're being an example. So as a young black woman in media, have you
Mhm.
ever felt like you had to work twice as hard to be seen as equally credible? And if so, what did that feeling and experience teach you?
So I think as a producer, you have to work extra hard too, because you're really behind the scenes. My
Hmm.
job is producing the show, stacking the show, writing the show. I'm not the face of the show. I'm just writing and creating it. And don't get me wrong, I personally think we're just as important as the face too, because if it wasn't for us, then you wouldn't be able to put it on TV. We all need each other. But it's hard being a producer because everybody knows the reporter, everybody knows the anchor. And so I was always the one like, well, I want people to know me too, like I'm just as important. And so I feel like I had to fight extra hard to be seen and to be heard and to get my name out there. So that's one of the reasons why when I was working at Fox 5 in Atlanta, when I used to book the guests for my show, I would go and interview them before they went on with the reporters or the anchors. And it was just for me just to get them get them like kind of like their nerves down, introduce them to me because I'm the producer of the show and just to sit down and just like get to know them. Because during that time, I used to do like get ready with me's in the morning, and I used to like rise and shine, rise and grind. So I started like incorporating the guests with that, and that way I was able to share my craft. Like say I have reporting skills, I have interviewing skills as well as a producer. Don't get me wrong, I love to be behind the scenes. I love producing because I just love seeing my work on the screen. But I also love going out and interviewing people and sharing and telling their stories in that aspect too. But I feel like you have to work extra hard as a black woman too in this field, in this industry, and also being a producer, not someone that's on camera. So therefore, I feel like every time like an event would come up, the anchors typically they don't want to go and do it because they already don't work their shift, they're working overnight. And so I would say, I'll go. Listen, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, but I'm like, look, I'll go. I'll go out to that media red carpet, that movie screening. I'll go interview them. I'll type it up. I'll write a package for you. I'll write a web script. I'll write a video. I was always hands on, being a sponge, willing to learn every single thing in this field. Because if you really think about it, it all ties in together. You need to
Yes.
know how to report. You need to know how to be an anchor. You need to know how to be a producer. You need to know how to write. So I'm like, well, how can I lose? I mean, I need all these skills to do my job anyway. So yes, I'll go.
You go. Yes, yes. Send me, I go. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
losing sleep and all, but I was like, look, I'll sleep later. I'm gonna go work.
Yes. I know that's right. I know that's right. And then what stereotypes or assumptions have you found yourself having to break or check simply by just showing up and doing your job? Because I'm pretty sure you walked into news stations where people have been there years and way longer than you, and you walk in as a young black girl, and now you're the not just a producer but the producer. So you know what I'm saying. So what stereotypes and assumptions did you have to make sure you check and put in place while you were going through this journey?
So one thing for sure, I always try to remain humble, especially in this field because so for instance, and you may ask me this question later on, but I'm just gonna touch on it here just to answer that question. So, I used to be a senior producer, right? And so now I'm a producer. I went from senior producer management to back down to producer, right? And so that doesn't mean that I'm still not manager material. That still doesn't mean that I'm not credible or I don't know my job, but I had to step down to get back into my field and be where I want to be. And I had an interviewer ask me this question. She was like, so how does it feel to go from senior producer back to producer to be in a newsroom with people that's fresh out of college that may be in a manager position? And like I told her, I was like, that doesn't mean that they're any more bigger than a producer that I am. We're all here doing the same job. We all need each other. We all are a team. That doesn't mean that person is more qualified than I am. It's just so happened that I had to take this position to get back into where I needed to be. And that sometimes it can be hard because transition from I was here here and I had to come back here. And I had to sit with that for a little bit, you know. I had to be like, okay, God humbled me in a sense because I felt like I was a senior producer. I was top dog. You know, I'm doing all this, I'm doing that. And God was like, wait a minute, Lakia, don't forget me. Don't forget how you got here.
Yeah.
Don't forget the reason, your reason why. And so I feel like in that moment, I had to take a step back and I had to like, you know, really focus and realize like, dang. But in the end of the day, I'm still Lakia. I'm still, like you said, the producer. And just because I had to go down does not mean I'm even less qualified.
Yes, I like that answer. I like that answer. Okay. And you're right. And sometimes stepping down is just preparing you for that next big step up.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So hey, kudos to you for getting back out there because you took a little break and then you start doing your own thing. You're still doing your own thing. Let's talk about your baby that you have created. Tell
Yes,
us about
voice unlocked. So I during that time when when I was working at 11 Alive as a senior producer, I was there for 2 years, and unfortunately my contract did not get renewed. In that moment, I was like, I thought about it. I was like, okay, this would be a great time for me to take a break from working midnight to 8. You know, I've been a zombie for what 8 years. This is a good time for me to get some sleep, spend some time with my baby, my family, and I was like, I get back in. So I'm applying. I'm like, well, I ain't getting back in. What's happening here? I'm just applying, like, all right, money getting low. Who's gonna hire me? And so I was like, all right. So nobody called. I kept getting denied, kept hearing no, no, no. And in that moment, I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I had to take what I can get at the time. So I started working at Enterprise. I worked at Enterprise for maybe 8 months. When I tell you that job humbled me, I give them all the praise working at Enterprise. Okay, listen, boy, yeah. So I started working there, but during that time, I was like, okay, I need something else. I need to feel like me again. So I was like, all right. So people always come to me, students always say, hey, I have a couple of questions about getting in the field. Do you mentor, et cetera, et cetera? I've been to speaking engagements to ask me about like breaking into the newsroom, the steps, like to be a producer, to be just to be in the newsroom, period. So I was like, you know what? This would be a perfect time for me to start my own thing and see how that go. So I sat down and I just started thinking. I was like, and during that time I got voice unlocked because I feel like my voice had been shut
come
down
on.
because I
Yes.
felt like I didn't have a voice anymore during that time where I didn't have a job. I kept hearing no's, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, all right, look here, it's time to unlock that now. Like you need to get your voice back out there. It's time to speak. So that's how Voice Unlock was created because I was mute for so long and I felt like I didn't have a purpose. And I was like, no, we got to turn that around. So I created Voice Unlock to help inspire and help other journalists get into the field and the industry to do have workshops to teach them about how to break into the newsroom, how to book guests, how to produce, how to land an interview, how to how should your resume reel look like for reporting if you want to be a reporter, how does your reel supposed to look like if you want to be a producer. And so so I had two events so far, so I have taken a break from it, but I need to get it started back up. But this is my baby, and I was thinking about the other day, I was like, Lakia, how you gonna start something and you're not even promoting anymore, girl? What are you doing? So I'm glad you asked me about it, and that's just a sign saying you need to get back on your Zoom.
Got to get back on it. Get back on it because people like me and others need it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You have wisdom, you have knowledge of this journey, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. And
Yeah.
people need to hear you. And you have a commanding spirit to where people will actually listen. I feel like you can hold the attention of the students in us and let us listen. And I threw student in there because now you're also an adjunct professor and you're
Yes.
teaching. Okay,
Yes.
so it's more to you than just one part, one lane. You got
Mhm.
multiple lanes in this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how did you come about doing how did you come about becoming an adjunct professor?
So one day, so I was when I was working at CNN, I got laid off from there. And during that time, I was just trying to figure out like what's next for me, you know, like what am I doing next? And so that's when I applied to Live Live for the senior producer position. I got that, but it was something still in my spirit telling me, no, Lakia, you need to be doing more. Like there's something else that can be brought out of you during this time. And so I remember sitting on the couch and God was saying classroom. Now, in that moment, I didn't know if he was saying like I'm supposed to go into the classroom and get another degree, or if I'm supposed to go in there and I'm supposed to help lead the future journalist or future leader, just to bring up the future. students. And so I
Hmm.
was like, I don't know. So I'm on the computer just looking. And then I just happened to stop on that adjunct position. And I was like, it was English and it was communications. And so I applied. 2 days later, they reached back out to me. It was like they wanted to move forward for some interviews. And I was like, oh, wow, this is really happening. It's always shocking to me when I do this because it's like I'm just sitting there and I'm like applying, but it's like in my mind, I'm like, I've never taught before. I've never been a teacher. I subbed one day and I quit because the kids was too bad for me. So I'm like, I never. And so I was like, they're not gonna really hire me. So they're sitting down, they're asking me questions like, why you want to do this? Why Strayer? And so, I mean, I'm good with my words. I can do interviews. And I'm like, ooh, we're gonna see if they give it to me because I have no experience, but I do know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure I can prepare the plan. And so they gave it to me. So I've been teaching now for 2 years English and communications for Strayer. Yep.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Multiple streams of income and still doing what you love to do. And
Yes.
I'm glad we touched on all this because now, for those that are watching that want to embark upon whatever journey they want to go on, and they want to do more than just one thing, you're also a mother. How are you managing being a mother and wearing all these different hats as well, and making sure your daughter doesn't lose time with you?
My Parky P. Oh my God, I love her so
Your
much.
twin. She stole your whole
Yes.
face. Stole your whole face. Yeah, she's you.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. So let me tell you, it was so hard in the beginning, especially working overnight. So, Parker, when I tell you, me and her used to be crying together before I left for work because she was like, no, mommy, please don't go. Can you please just work at a gas station beside the house? Like, where are you going? And I'm like, oh my God. I call my mom, like, Mom, Parker crying. She don't want me to go. She want me to work at a gas station. I was like, oh my God. So I'm gonna tell you, it was really, really hard. But I had to tell that, look, Parky, you're supposed to be asleep at this time. So I'm working overnight. So I'm like, you're supposed to be asleep at this time. And by the time you wake up, guess who will be here? Mama will be here to see you off to school, get you ready. You can call me. Like, you're going to be sleeping. I was like, look, and you want toys. So I got to go make money to get you toys. So that kind of like helped. As she got older, it kind of got better. She stopped the crying. She still would say, where are you going? I don't want you to go to work. Like, this girl does not want me to work at all. Like, to this day, she does not want me to work. Like, when I'm working it from home, she still say, "Can you please just get back in the bed? Like, why are you going to work?" I'm like, Parker, I'm 3 feet away from you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not far. So, but I don't know what she does not want me to work. But it was definitely hard. I had to call my mom and just kind of like get guidance. I had to talk to my coworkers who are moms as well, working that shift. Because it's not easy leaving your babies and stuff. So, but they had to just let you know, like, look, you're a mom, you have to do what you have to do with them as a mother. You have to provide. They'll understand once they get older and understand like what you're doing and everything that you're doing is to help them and to prepare them in their future. So that's what I had to keep telling myself because I was crying. Like, literally on the way to work, I would be crying because I'm leaving my baby. And
Mhm.
so, and it was working overnight. And I'm like, so what is a great shift to work in this industry with kids? Like, like, I don't know because I thought it was working overnight because I'd be home all day. But I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, it was hard. But now it's gotten a lot better. Like, she kind of understands, like, okay, mommy has to go to work now, but she'll be back when I wake up. She'll be here. I can FaceTime her. I bought her phone for Christmas so she can FaceTime and call me whenever she needs to. And she takes advantage of that. So,
I know she does, honey. Again, she is you all over again. And now you have a bubbly spirit, and you just have a people's person type of personality. And you're just easy to get along with, and just get to know. You can hold a conversation. So
yeah.
with your personality, how much of your personality did you make sure to also include in your shows when you were producing them, and making sure that you stay authentic to you, even though we know journalism can be demanding, and we know that sometimes it can be one-sided and people want
Mhm,
things to be this way. But
mhm,
how were you able to just stay authentic and make sure you're producing shows on the news that everybody from all walks of life can resonate with, and be able to be watching it and actually get something from it, and not just
mhm.
tuned into one side of the spectrum?
So we all know news can be death and destruction. We know, like you said, it can be one sided. Like, it is very draining. It really is. And so that's why I like morning news a lot because in the morning when you're getting your kids ready, you heading out the door, you don't want to hear plane crash, fire, shooting, et
Yeah.
cetera. Like when you walking out the door, you want to hear weather, how's traffic, what's happening in the city today, what's happening later this week, what splash pad can I take my kid to during the summer. So that's why I like morning news because it's light. Don't get me wrong, I still have to report until what's happening in our community to keep people informed, but also make sure I throw in that fluffy light news that so I be creative in my writing. Like you can tell like, oh, Lakia put this one in here. Like this is something that's like her avenue, her lane. I love entertainment. I love health. I love, beauty, lifestyle. Like I love happening today stories. I love happening today stories. I love what's happening over the weekend stories because it just gets you out and about in the community. And that's what it's all about. It's all about getting your community involved and showing up for your community and letting them know, like, hey, I'm here for you. So therefore, how I can be there for you is let you know what's going on in the community. So it's like, of course, that A block, you're gonna hear that shooting that happened on Easter Ave. You're gonna hear all that stuff over there.
Yes.
But once you get to that B block, it's gonna become a little lighter. I still gotta keep you informed, but I'm just gonna still tell you some things that's happening around the city and like entertainment news, the red
Mhm.
carpet, Met Gala outfits. I kind of make sure I throw stuff like that in there. So because when you walk out the door, you don't want to hear all that stuff. You're trying to start your day. Don't start my day with no shooting. Don't start my day
Yes.
with that.
Most definitely, most definitely. And you've covered stories ranging from all type of categories and fields. Has there
Yes.
ever been a story that you covered that made you one say, "Yeah, this is why I chose this job," or
Mm.
two, change your perspective, or made you second guess if this was actually if this was actually your purpose or the career you're supposed to be in?
Whew. Listen, okay. Let me see. So I'm gonna do the second one first, the one that made me
Okay.
like second guess my job because we talk about like the hard news, the death,
Yes.
destruction, and this is one story that always just stick with me and made me just second guess like why am I doing this? And it's a sad story, and I'm just like, oh my god, I just don't want to hear this. So this is when I was working at CNN, and the story in Florida where the guy had fell off the free fall, and so
Yes.
I was like, my God. Like I accidentally watched the video in there. And so I instantly just started praying. And I was like, this is not why I'm supposed to be here doing this. I'm not supposed to be seeing stuff like that. So there have been times when stories like this, like with 7-year-olds, like the 7-year-old in Atlanta that just was walked out of their I think it was the aunt's apartment, found them dead in a pond. And I was praying that was not the case. Praying that's not the case. And so then there's another story on the flip side that's like the reason that makes me love my job is the 7-year-old in New York who walked out the house today or yesterday and went to call the Uber, a black truck Uber, went to the airport in the TSA line, had his suitcase and said he wanted to go see what was happening in Japan. And so I'm like, Lord, like,
At 7 years old, get this man a
seven.
job.
That's what I said. Seven.
What?
He called him a black SUV Uber, had his blue
Riding style.
suitcase.
Riding
He when he
style.
walked outside, he asked the Uber, said, "Are you the Uber driver?" And the Uber driver said, "Yeah." Took him to the airport, and he was in the TSA line, ready to go to Japan. And I'm like, these type of stories that I like to hear. Like, it's got the parents, it's kind of like upset in a sense, because like, why did the Uber driver take them? But it's like, it's still stories like that. And then, of course, like my entertainment stories, I'm an entertainment girly down. Like, I love those type stories. So that's what keeps me motivated and keep me like, all right, you love to do entertainment. Get back in there. Figure out how you can get back to interviewing, red carpets, your own thing. Like, just figure it out. And sometimes I be in my head so much, and therefore I just don't know how to get started, but I'm working on me. Like he working on me, and I'm gonna get it
Yes,
right.
yes, most definitely. You've been doing this for how many years now?
Ooh, 11. 11
11 years.
years.
11, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to call you a vet in the game at this point, okay? So, with being a vet in the game, you've been a senior producer, you've been a producer, you've been a reporter, a journalist, a red carpet interviewer. What
Mm-hmm.
advice would you give to young women who dream of working in television, journalism, or media itself, but doesn't see many people who look like you in a
Mm-hmm.
leadership position or in that field being successful like you have been? What piece of advice would you give them?
Keep going. You're gonna hear a lot of no's in this industry. And when I say a lot of no's, you're gonna hear a lot of no's. They're gonna say you're not qualified. They're gonna say you don't look the part, your hair isn't the part, your voice isn't the part. But let me tell you something, journalism is changing, okay? You can wear braids, you can speak your authentic voice with being a journalist. So never give up. Take those no's and turn it into yes, okay? That's one thing I would definitely say. Just keep going. The naysayers, we got to tune that out. You know who you are, you know what you bring to the table. And so you take that along the way and along your journey. And also know that just because this one person has the podcast, they're interviewing on red carpets, that's their lane, that's their journey. That's not your journey. What's for you will be for you. Okay. There's enough for everybody in this industry.
Yes.
Trust me. Like there is
Yes.
enough for everybody to eat and be in this and be in the same space. We need journalists. They need us. We need us. So therefore, don't think that just because somebody has a job and doing this, that there's not any room for you. There is. So stay the course. Keep your head up. When you hear no, it's okay. You're gonna eat it and then you're gonna keep on going because that means something bigger and better is waiting for you on the other side.
Most definitely. I tell them when I speak, I tell them, listen, you have to be strong enough to handle
Hmm.
the no's and wise enough to go and do your research to figure out why you got that no, change some things and go back at it. Because
Yep.
that actual thing that you just went out for, that you got the no for, may not have been for you. It may be
Hmm.
something bigger and better in store for you. And then
Hmm.
two, a no is just a delay. It ain't a denial. It's just a delay. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
God probably said you need a little bit more time for him to get you where you need to be so you can step into that
Yes.
and take over. Okay. Because you may not have been
Yes.
meant to be at the bottom of the totem pole. You may have been meant to lead the whole pole. So yeah, so handle the no, but everybody's not strong enough to handle the no. Some people will
No.
fold. Some people will fold and give up right after that. And
Yeah.
then I do. Someone asked me a question too. When it comes to being in the newsroom and being a journalist for a news station, is
Hmm.
a degree required? I think she said she had an associate's degree.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a degree required to be a news anchor and a producer for a news station.
I'll say no. And my mama tell me this story. I don't know. Okay, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get it wrong. But I say no. My mama told me the story of Tanya Terry. I don't know if she really have a degree. But my mama tell me every time how she went to that job and she demanded and told them like she needs to know if she gonna get this job before she walk out the door. Like no, if you have what it takes, if you know how to speak to somebody, speak to someone, you know how to tell stories, share stories, write, do all of those things, then you can get in there. Like I feel like you don't need degrees for half these jobs that's going happening right now. Because one thing, this is what I told my mom the other day. I was like, they have to train you anyway. You can't go into nobody job and no, like they have to train you. When I went in for the producer, I didn't know how to produce. Guess what? They trained me.
Mm-hmm.
They trained me to be a producer, and then I just kept learning and learning and learning along the way. So no, I don't think you need to have a degree. You just need to know how to write. You know how to tell, share stories, and understand when you're writing for TV, you have to dumb it down for TV. You're not making sure that you're using all these big words and being ti. You have to dumb it down and just tell me the story as if you're talking to your best friend. There was a shooter down the street, two people got hurt, she was taken to the hospital, she's expected to be okay. That's the story.
That's the story. That's
That's the
it.
story.
That's it. And make sure they remember you telling that story.
Yes.
Yeah, make sure you're memorable, baby. And so, how important is representation in the newsroom and media organizations? And what changes would you still like to see when it comes to the news station, as well as the entertainment industry when it comes to relaying and putting out news and media?
So depending at what station you work at, a lot of stations don't really do entertainment news. So where I'm at right now, there's not a lot of entertainment news and a lot of interviews. So when we do have interviews, like it'd be kind of like exclusive interviews with big people, and the anchors typically will go out there and cover those. But what I want to see, I think I just want to see more of that because like we don't want to see. I know we have to tell and share and let people know what's happening around the world, but you also need to give them something light too to keep them coming back. Because I think I feel like if I wake up in the morning, I see what's happening here, and I also get a feel of like light news that's happening, it'll keep me tuned in. I want to come back for more. So with news, I want to see. more entertainment, more light news. I want to see more recognition for the people that's behind the scenes. I feel like we don't get enough credit. We go in there and we hustle and we bustle all night long, and then the anchors just come in and check the scripts and read. And it's like, I get it and I understand the process, but we need recognition too. We do it just as much as everybody else. And I feel like that's something that's kind of like lacking. And I've been thinking about it a lot. And I was like, because people kind of like, you need to be in front of scenes. Like, no, I actually like being behind the scenes because I get to do everything that I love. I get to go out and do red carpets, etc. I don't have to report in the rain, sleet, snow, and all those things. So that's really good for me. But I also want to be recognized for my work. I want to be recognized, and we have Emmys and we have awards, and I have won an Emmy before, but I also just want to be
Oh,
recognized. So that in
yes.
there. But I also, you also want to be recognized amongst your peers and in the newsroom. A lot of newsrooms, they do give you a credit and say great job. And sometimes you don't hear that. And you have to be okay with that too. Like you say, you have to be strong in this industry. You really do have to be strong because sometimes you won't get the credit that you deserve. Like I had one anchor tell me before at a job, if you're looking for a great job or in this industry, then you're in the wrong industry. And I'm like, wow. So it's like, and I took that and I was like, you know what? From now on, I don't expect nobody to tell me great job. Like I would let my work speak for itself. And I know when I'm doing a great job, I also know how to take criticism and I know how to apply it and keep on going. But I would not expect somebody to come to me and say, great job, Lakia, today. I wouldn't
I
do
know that's right. And I'm glad you said criticism because that I wanted to ask you, what's the toughest criticism you faced in your career? And how did you turn that moment into motivation instead of taking it and being discouraged by it?
So that one moment when I told you that she told me if you're looking for a great job, because what happened was teases. I used to hate writing teases because you have to be short and sweet and like bring the viewer back. I used to be the type of writer that would give them too much information. So it's like once you hear it, it's like, why should I come back? Because you already told me everything was happening. And so what happened was the anchor, she came to me and she was like, you need to learn how to shorten this down and don't give up too much information. And so I was like, okay. So I took it. It was hard because like sometimes they can come out very aggressive, and I get it because they have to read it. It's like you're writing for them, and sometimes they don't have enough time to go and check the scripts beforehand. So they're going and they're reading right what they're seeing. They're like, now what? And so they'll come to you and they're like, what is that? What was that? And I'm like, uh I thought it was right, but so I received that, but then it was like I came back around and I wrote a tease and I expected a great job for it, and I was like, okay, how was this one? I did this one really good, and then she was like, if you're expecting a great job or you want somebody to recognize you in this business, then you're in the wrong industry. I was like, wow. And I ain't gonna lie. Remember I told you in the beginning how I moved when my mama told me I need to pay bills, so I went and applied for another job because I was like, I'm it's like a runner, and I don't like that about myself, but I'm
Yeah.
almost a runner. Like sometimes when people
And
come to me
sometimes
and
you gotta
assist,
run.
and I'm like, I don't know if it's good or bad. And I'm like, look here, you can't run every time somebody give you a piece of advice or somebody try to help you in your career. But I applied for another job and I started working at CNN. So I was like, hey, but and I mean, it was good or bad. And I didn't have to run. I could have just took the criticism, and I could have applied it and as I moved forward, but I did. I applied it
Yeah.
in my other jobs and as I moved forward. But during that time, I was like, I don't have to take this.
Exactly. Exactly. But you know what though? That leads me to say, how the grown people say, gotta put you in an uncomfortable situation, and sometimes he'll stir some stuff up in your
Yeah.
current situation that'll make you move, because that
Mm,
ain't what you're supposed to be. So I'm not gonna
hmm.
say you just ran. I'm gonna say God pushed you up out of there because you was supposed to be somewhere else. Okay,
Yeah.
that one
Okay.
for you.
Okay.
That one for you. But
Okay.
I feel you. But I was speaking to a group of girls before, and I told them, I said, listen. Don't always think somebody gonna tell you pretty or your outfit nice. I said, but this is what you got to do. Go look in that mirror and tell yourself. You
Hmm.
got to tell yourself, because when you
Hmm.
tell yourself so much, you don't look for it from nowhere else.
Nobody.
So you
Yes.
know you're good. You know you're a good producer. You know what I'm saying, you're a good interviewer. Tell yourself it's okay.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
those who, and I hate to say it because I don't know who told it to you, but I'm gonna say she was a hater. She knew what was in you. She saw the greatness in you. She was a hater.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, she was just a bit a hater. But you gotta run across those type of people. But I just
Yeah.
feel like no matter what career you're in, and no matter what lane you in, it takes nothing to
Yeah.
pat somebody on the back and say job well done.
Yeah. Yes.
It doesn't
Yes.
take nothing. You don't lose nothing to do.
No.
You
You're
know what
not
I'm saying?
losing your
In that
job.
same breath, you're not gonna lose. And in the same breath of her telling you all that, it would have took less breath to say, "Job well done." That's less words used. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
Cause
sometimes people got to realize too that there are a lot of weak people in certain situations, and the wrong thing could be that thing that pushed somebody over the edge who felt
hmm
like they weren't good enough or worthy enough, and
yeah.
now we finding them deceased
Mm-hmm.
with a letter. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and with that, I keep that in mind with a lot of things. I be want to tell a lot of people a lot of stuff sometimes. People who I be want to read them down, but I have to realize that something I say or how I treat may be what pushed them over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Because we never know what somebody's going through,
That's true.
off of social media and what we can't see. So I mean that I've seen it's like suicide is becoming the
It's a
norm.
norm. Yeah. It's
Yeah. And so and I would never want to know that it was something I said or did that was
mm-hmm.
the cause of somebody taking their life, because again, everybody wasn't built pike kind of tough like us. You know what I'm saying? So
You know?
but that brings me to ask you too, when the cameras are off and there are no headlines to be written, who is Lakia Starr?
Oh my God, why you do this to me? It's so funny because so I'm like in this leadership program with my sorority right now.
Mhm.
And so it was this we had a class and she brought us up and she was like, "Who are you? Uh,
Mhm.
Who is Lakia?" And I was and you know you're gonna say a mom, a daughter, a journalist. And she was like, "No, outside of all of that, who is Lakia?" And I sat there and for a while I could not answer that question. Like, who am I? And to this day, I'm like, who am I? I know that I have a passion for telling and sharing people's stories. I know sometimes I may not always get it right, but I know that I aspire to be. I love to work out. I love to hang out with my family. I'm very family oriented. Like I love my family down. We small and we mighty. Like
Yeah.
I'm a family person. I love to travel. Sometimes I just like to sit and do nothing. I'm still figuring me out. So who am I? I'm still like honestly in this process, and you caught me in a very vulnerable time. Like I'm
Yeah.
still in this moment right now, trying to figure out who is Lakia. And so that's what I'm currently working on, finding out what it is that I love. What do I like to do? Outside of all of that, when we turn this tripod light out, when we turn these cameras off, like who am I? What am I going to go do when I leave from sitting right here in this chair? Like I have so much that's going on in my life. And it's like somebody told me today, it was like, you have to take this moment to quiet. Cause I was like, I don't have any friends for real. Like it's quiet. Like, what am I gonna do? And just like, sometimes you have to take this moment and God is trying to tell you something. God is
Come
trying to
on.
put the right people around you for your next
Yes.
what's next for you. You have to
Yes.
sit and you have to be still and listen to what God is trying to tell you in this moment. So I'm really trying to take that in. I'm trying to understand that. And it's like, maybe it's supposed to be quiet right now. Maybe I don't need all that noise because I'm still in the figuring out moment. So maybe right now that's what I need. And so that's what I'm doing right now. So who is Lakia? Lakia is right now still trying to figure out who she is, and she is sitting in
Yeah.
this moment.
And that's okay. That's okay. And I'm gonna add to it because I feel like I'm a little elder now. I'm an elder to you. Just a few years older than you. I'm gonna say I've been in that moment, and I'm sometimes I still find myself in that moment too. But I realized too that God will strip everything that you felt like is what you were where you were supposed to be or supposed to have. He will strip it from you, and take and relieve dead weight. And he will strip people out of your life. He will strip things out of your life. He will take you from situations, from workplaces to from friendships, everything, relationships, all that. He will strip you out of it because he's getting ready to take you higher. And he knows that in order for you to prosper at that next level he's getting ready to take you to, you can't have that dead weight. Um, and I had to learn it the hard way. People used to always say everybody's not meant to go with you where you're
Mm,
going. No matter how you feel in your heart about them, they ain't meant to go with you. Okay. And it's okay. Seasons. It's all about the seasons. We've
mm-hmm.
had our season, and I've got to enter another one. This one might not be the one you going in with me, and we have to be okay with that. but
Yeah.
it's easier said than done. And I tell folks sometimes we got to check on our strong friends because
Mm-hmm.
even though I can talk with the best of them, and I can smile and I can walk and carry myself where you think I got it all the way together. But there are those times where by myself in my room or in my car, I'm having a complete meltdown. It's me and
Mm-hmm.
Jesus talking now, baby. It's me and him because there's something where I know that he's working on me with, and I can't figure out what he's trying to do because this ain't what I'm trying to do. So, so I'm pushing against him, and he's like, "I'm gonna get
Yes.
the last say so, girl." And
Yes.
so you find yourself in the moments where you're trying to
Yeah.
realize who are you, what are you, and what are you supposed to be doing, and then you look around and be like, "Who was just standing next to you is no longer there."
Mm-hmm.
But in this moment, I say to you, if you're in that moment, keep praying, keep your village around you, and keep
Yes.
looking up to the hills because hey, I know who Lakia is. Lakia is an inspiration. Lakia is motivation. Lakia is an example. Lakia is black girl excellence straight out of Pike County, Alabama, where us and others can look at and say, hey, she went and stepped into journalism, took over news stations all the way out in Charlotte, North Carolina, the biggest news stations in Atlanta, Georgia. She's been that girl. She sat down with the greatest of the great Tyler Perry and interviewed him. She's been on red carpets. She's writing stories and producing stories, and she's her. She's definitely her. So you definitely have left a mark already, and it's more to come. I know it is. I'm ready to see it. I was excited to see you enter into that new news station, and I'm like, yep, she's back at it. Yep, she's
Yes. Yes.
back at it. Um, because you're needed. You're needed, and I'm asked this question a lot after I do an interview, and it's
Mm-hmm.
is your show only for black people? And I tell them no. But
Yeah.
what they have to understand is our culture and our kids and our community, a lot of us, we don't have that many examples and we don't
Mm-hmm.
have positive examples. We don't have that many people who are willing to pour back into us who have made it and who have conquered the dream and say, hey, this is what I did. This is the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups and downs of it, and you can do it too. So right
Mm-hmm.
now, in order for me to feel like I'm using my platform for what it's supposed to be for, that little girl that looked like me, that little girl that look like me, she needs me to make
Mm-hmm.
sure I put people that look like us in front of her. That black boy, he needs to see black men who are actually successful in whatever field it is, from being principals to lawyers to
Yes.
entertainers, whatever it is, they need to see it. Because
Yes.
unfortunately, a lot of them don't get to see it face to face. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't just for us, but I'm definitely god dang it, I'm trying my best. I'm
Hello.
trying my best to make sure them ones that look like us know that you're not the stereotype that has been
Mm-hmm.
placed upon us. You are a
Yep.
queen, you are a king, and you can be whatever it is you want to be. Whatever it is,
Yes.
because Lakia Starks did it, Miss Fed Up did it,
Hello.
Dr. Jeremy Jones did it. Koya DeVoe
Hello.
did it. Melanie Rogers did it. Listen, y'all did it. Just because we're from a small area does not mean we can't
Yeah.
go off and do big things. It doesn't
That's
mean
true.
that. So yeah, you continue to find out who you are outside of
Yes.
media and journalism and being a mother and a
Yes.
worker
Yes.
and an interviewer. You continue to find it out because once you do find it out, man, I hate it for the world, did baby. I hate it
They
for them.
better. They better watch out.
They better watch
Listen.
all the way
They
out. Do
better
you
watch
hear
out because
me?
I'm coming. I'm coming strong.
And
I'm coming to
ain't gonna
take
be
what's
sharp.
mine.
Ain't gonna be sharp when you do it too. I'm telling you,
Hello.
baby, you got a wardrobe for them. Do you hear me? You got a wardrobe for them. Now, do this for me. If you,
Okay.
I do this for all those that are looking that has a dream, don't know how to
Yes.
get started, don't know which way to go, or they just need a little bit of inspiration. If you could
Yes.
say anything to them, what would you say right now?
Like I said before, never give up. Never give up. If you know that being in the media industry, you want to be a reporter, don't let somebody tell you don't look the part. Don't let somebody tell you that your hair is not right. Don't let somebody tell you that you don't sound the part. Keep going, keep striving, and never give up on your dreams because one day that dream will become a reality. Those no's, You're going to hear them along the way. You just got to know how to eat them and keep fighting. Like you said, that one job that you was going after that may not have been for you. Maybe God got something bigger and better for you. Maybe God wanted that to teach you to keep working and perfecting your craft, and just something that you need to put a little spin on. So when you go after that next job, then you're going to get it. But never give up. Stay the course, know your purpose, and everything will be okay.
And then too, I gotta let them know. Tell them at least 2 sacrifices you had to make to get to where you are.
Whew. Leaving my family behind, I moved to a place with I didn't know anybody and I was broke. But one thing I had to do was I had to let my mama live her life and I had to live my life and I had to go get a second job. I didn't want a second job, but I worked at Loft the whole time I was living in Charlotte. I worked at the outlets over there, bringing in more money. Another sacrifice I had to make was leaving my baby. Sometimes, it's hard to leave your kids and go work overnight or work a job, but you also have to understand like you have to be able to provide for your kids. And so although it may be hard, and maybe your kid is not like how my kid, she's so attached, and I'm attached to her too, but I just had to like let her know, like, look, Mommy's going to make some money so you can have this big extravagant birthday party that you want. Just you want that big extravagant birthday party. So mommy has to go to work. But it was so hard because I left at a young age working overnight where she would still be up and I would just be crying, crying, crying. But I knew at the end it was all worth it. And I'm doing this for me and baby girl.
There's some sacrifices, man. In order
Yes.
to conquer the dream, you got to be willing to sacrifice some things.
Yes.
I'm telling you, and then too, I'm glad that you keep going back to the second job. I tell people all the time, you see the good, you see them
Yeah.
highlights, you see them reels, you see the pictures, but baby,
I'm working.
baby, all over here at a night job with one eye open, trying to figure out how I'm doing this. Like, Jesus,
Listen.
how am I doing this? But through the grace of God, man, stay prayed up and stay hungry. If
Yes.
you stay prayed up and
Yes.
stay hungry, you can be able to conquer any and everything. And I do want to say,
Yes.
I want to shout out to the Legacy magazine. I'm out of Mississippi. I see her in the comments. Coming and tuning in. We got to get you featured on that magazine too. I love her magazine, and I'm a little biased because I've been in a few
Mhm.
magazines lately, but I'm a little biased because
Oh,
her magazine was the first one I was the cover for March of last year, and it stayed. I got them in 3 rooms in my house. Yeah, it's one
yes.
in 3 rooms in the house. Yeah,
Oh,
so
listen. Oh,
shout out to Legacy
that's so nice.
Magazine. Legacy, we got to get Lakia Starks in the Legacy Magazine. And she actually
Yes.
did a feature on me a few weeks ago, too. So I got to get that downloaded, too, as well, and get a copy of that. But yeah, so shout out to them. I
Yes.
love to shout out to those who comment and those who actually support. Because support goes a long way. And I tell people
It does.
support is not always monetary. You know what I'm saying? Just sharing and just telling somebody about somebody else's gift and craft, man.
Yes.
That's support. And shout out to Calvin Griffin. He said, "Great interview, ladies." He loves both of us. Shout out to Fight
Thanks,
County.
Kevin.
He down there in Pensacola making movies and doing
Yes. Doing his
organizing
thing.
festivals and stuff, doing his thing.
Yes.
Now, I
Yes.
do want to ask you before we get ready to wrap up, if you could go, I don't know if you're going or not, but if you can go to the Essence Festival this weekend, who
Mhm.
is one person you would like to interview?
Oh, let's see. So if they're there, like I am a huge. Oh no. Okay, so I interviewed Megan Good virtually. I want to see her in person. Like I am obsessed with Megan Good. I also want to see Nia Long. I just want to sit down with her and just like listen to what she has to say. Let's see who else. You interviewed him. I want to interview Morris Chestnuts. Let's do a
Girl,
moment of silence.
just don't let your knees lock up like mine did, baby. I'm telling you. Don't let your knees lock up like mine did. Oh, the man smell good. He's down to earth. He's humble. And he's just so cool. And that just did it for me. You already sexy. Then you got the nerve to be humble and a people's person too. Yes, God. Yeah, don't let your knees buckle like mine. Because I was supposed to stand next to him the entire interview while I'm interviewing, but I couldn't move from behind the camera. All the thing you can do is hear my voice until the end. And I'm like, girl, the interview almost over. Go stand by this man. You got to get this shot. But yes, I hope you do it. Yes, I hope you get that because
Yes,
he
yes,
he
yes.
he
Yeah,
was he was definitely a check man, a check
I
mark
can only
off the list
imagine.
I didn't even have, and God did that the day before the event. God did that. So,
That is
but yeah,
amazing.
I hope you get that one. Yeah,
Thank
don't
you.
let the knees buckle.
I'm
Don't
gonna
let
be
them
ready.
knees buckle. Hey, your old neighbor, my auntie Michelle Wilson in the comments said great interview.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
Willie Hills. Shout out to Willie Hills back in the day. Yes. Well, I hope you get those interviews and
thank
check
you,
what
thank you,
those
thank you,
is because you are a great interviewer.
thank
Again,
you,
I love watching you when you were doing your thing on the red carpet. So,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
And then my last question is, when it's all said and done, when you hang up your hat and you say,
Mhm.
I'm retiring from this here career, what do you want the world to remember about Lakia Starks, the media personality, the news producer?
She was genuine. She was passionate about her craft. She loved sharing and telling people stories. Listen, I will reach out to you if I see that you have something going on, and if I can help you, oh, I'm reaching out. Like, look, can you come on my show? Luckily for the show where I'm at now, we don't invite guests on, so that's my only little stump that I have right now. So if I see you, I see y'all, and I want to get y'all recognized. But one thing for me, I love getting people recognized. I love getting people out there. Like even when you reached out to me, look, I'm helping. Yep, I got this for you. So I just want people to just know, like, look, she really was about her craft and what she loved. She fulfilled her purpose. Like at the end of the day, job well done. She fulfilled her purpose, and look, I did
Okay.
everything that I wanted to do. So it's like I'm counting the point now. It's like, girl, you almost done it all. Like what else? So, but yeah,
That,
I
that,
just want people to
that's all.
understand, like, yeah, I was really true about my craft, and I was very passionate and willing to share and tell people stories and help out any way I can.
And we can definitely see that the
Yeah.
passion radiates off you. Okay,
Yeah.
so so kudos to you. Thank you
Thank
again for
you.
coming on to Live
Thank
on the Setup Show.
you.
It truly has been an uplifting and meaningful conversation tonight.
Yes.
I appreciate you for opening your heart and sharing your journey, your wisdom, and your passion with us tonight. Your
Yes.
story has reminded us that purpose requires courage, growth requires consistency, and impact begins with choosing to show up every day. So tonight, you've challenged us to believe in ourselves, trust the process, continue moving forward, and sometimes you just have to pack up and move away even when the path isn't always clear. So, to everyone watching, remember this: your purpose is not determined by where you started, but by your willingness to keep growing into who you're called to become. To our Fed Up family, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for sharing the live for those that have. Thank you for commenting. Continue to support the conversations that educate, encourage, and inspire us all just to be great. Ladies and gentlemen, it was the news lady herself, okay, Miss Lakia Starks. And I am your girl, Miss Fed Up, with Live on the Fed Up Show. Until next time, keep believing, keep building, and stay fed up about y'all purpose. On tomorrow night, I will be interviewing Miss Namika Craig, who just so happens to be my stylist. And she's also the advisor over the, my brain just went that way. Snow Hill Fest. There we go. The Snow Hill Fest that's happening on July 25th in Snow Hill, Alabama. And I am actually the MC for that festival down in Snow Hill, Alabama. So get ready for Miss Fed Up to come take over the scene and make sure you all are having a good time. But tune in tomorrow night because this festival is all about saving an art institution, an art institute that's down in that area that has been closed for a long time, but it's a lot of history in it. And you know me, I love theater and the art. So baby, when I got the call, it was nothing but a yes. So tune in on tomorrow. And then Thursday, we have Mr. Sir Brody from the Country Wayne skits and the different films and movies that he's in. He will be joining us on Live on the Fed Up Show this Thursday. And we back to it, y'all. I'm back for a little while because after this week, I'll be back running to Atlanta. So I'm gonna come to you as much as I can. But I thank God for what He's doing, y'all. I'm not doing anything special. other than chasing the dream. But in the words of Tina LaFord, I'm not chasing it. I'm following it. I'm following the dream and trying to fulfill my purpose and conquer the dreams I have set for myself. The only thing special I'm doing is staying prayed up, focused, and running. Okay, so you can do it too. So come on, y'all, join us and let's go be great. Y'all have a great night. God bless you and keep you is our prayer. Lakia Starks, keep doing what you're doing, girl. We can't
Thank
wait
you.
to see what's next, baby. Love you.
Thank you.
We'll
Love you.
holla.